I just don't know at what point in your career do you have to suspect which person around you is a member of Benamunde's court.
True. All of them, unless proven otherwise.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back post-movie with another episode of Lessons of the Galactic Heroes. Gaiden. Yeah, I know, Legends, but I know what I said. First off, though, we have a couple of comments. Henry from the Patreon from Season 2, Episode 20 of Gaiden. Hard to say these things because they are like Chapter 1, Chapter 3 sort of things. So I'm just calling them out by episode. Funny you mentioned the narrator because he actually does like to spoiler you at the end of an episode. At least in the main series, with lines like, "The end of these peaceful times was fast approaching," or "These two characters would never see each other again," and another reaction tuber I watch got agitated by it. So it's still fresh in my mind.
I mean, we still watch the next song anyway, so it's part of the show. We talked about this many times. We bitch about it, but still, we still watch them.
What show was it that we had a problem with that?
Oh, this one, Gundam, also did that a lot.
Like,
no, I mean, next
actively,
song,
I don't have
Cecilia, someone dies, you know.
I don't know why you brought up Cecilia, because that's never been a thing. Now oh, you're spoiling me from a different show.
I was thinking about, no, it wasn't Cecilia I was talking about. It was Redhead. Oh my god.
No, it was Gundam that I'm thinking of, because they told us that they won the Battle of Odessia and that Matilda died.
Matilda died.
Yeah, it's like out of nowhere. I don't think I've had that problem with this show.
No, not as much.
I can't think of an example where they've told us what happens next episode, like, exactly. And then Reinhardt won the duel, winning the trade agreement for, like, what? All right. Next up, we have a Humpy or Rogue from Season 2, Episode 18 of Gaiden. I get where you are coming from, where you came from, but don't forget that from the perspective of the Alliance, even if Yang disagrees, Yang saved 3 million people. That's a big thing for an officer. Plus, it's not like their positions are very different. They share a similar track of doing one thing at a time before getting promoted. Heck, unless I'm mistaken, Yang did not even get promoted after the Iconia thing. He just stayed a lieutenant, didn't he? Meanwhile, Reinhardt is picking up promotions every time he wipes his ass. Heroic ass wipings though they may be.
Are they heroic ass wiping? I mean, he's done a little more than wipe his ass. I'll give you that. I'll give him that much.
I think the difference therein is that Yang got, like, super promoted. Like, he skipped up, he got skipped up way up the thing, and then he got promoted again immediately 6 hours. Versus Reinhardt, who gets one promotion. So Yang did one big thing, and then Reinhardt keeps doing a big thing.
Yeah. But I don't think anything that Reinhardt done individually is of the scale of El Facil. Like, he hasn't saved millions of people or won a single-handed battle by himself or anything like that, right? I think the closest he came to that was when he disabled the tanks, the AI on the Alliance tanks.
Oh, I was going to go with the fleet that was going to invade, which I guess technically did.
Yeah.
You remember? Well, it's a different fleet, but they were. You remember when the mutineer? The fleet, the Free Planets Alliance fleet that's there. And then he escapes and he warns Isolorn about them approaching, and then they pull back.
Yeah.
It's literally like a year later that they assemble 50,000 ships and attack. So maybe a scouting operation for the events of Golden Wing?
Yeah. Could be, but probably was. But that is, again, it's not in the same scale because the attack already happened, and it's the attack is seen as being part and parcel of everything the Alliance keeps taking down the not Death Star.
Yeah, it literally is a year later. 791 in September, they were on the Imperial Destroyer unit. And then 792, well, we don't know what year it was. I'm sorry, we don't know what month it was because the fucking movie doesn't give us any dates. other than 792. But it was 792 February that it was a month after the duel. So sometime in 792, post-February, that he is made the captain of El Morant II. So yeah, in the same year, within a year, the Mercas fleet was the one.
Yeah.
That was there. No, Mercas fleet was the Imperial side. Sorry, just going through all the details in my head. There's a lot of details.
Also,
we're still
the publicity of it all, because everything that, and that's one of the things about the movie, that this guy was able to start an investigation of the things that happened. That yes, he gets promoted, but everything that Reinhard has done, not because of his own fault, by the way, but seems to be shrouded in some, something happened here that shouldn't happen, like a mutiny.
Well, only the first one. The mutiny had nothing to do, because the mutiny wasn't shrouded in anything. He prevented a mutiny and got promoted for his actions in saving the ship. Like, there was no shrouding there. It's not like Silver Valley, where that was shady because what Herder did, and then Herder throws himself off a cliff, and the second in command's like, I'm not going to fuck Herder's family over. I'll give you a promotion, and we're just going to call that a day. That was shady.
Remember that Reinhard was the mutineer. He wasn't the one who prevented a mutiny. He was the mutineer.
Technically, no, because the captain sides with Reinhardt's decision after the fact.
Yeah, but
which indicates that
the covering up what he was doing, basically.
No, the captain, because they're still in the thick of it. When the captain says, "No, I gave Reinhardt command. I never said I gave anybody else command." Reinhardt still has command. So, I mean, that's after the fact logic. I'll agree with you there, but that also makes him correct. Backwards correct.
Yeah. But there's always something not right? There's always a cloud over his actions, whether he does, even though it's not his fault, he's doing the right thing.
Well, I'm only arguing this because the mutineer is the one where there's no shady shit. That he's not getting, like, the assassins aren't after him for the mutineer. That was just its own thing. He doesn't get promoted for the duelist, which is another assassination attempt, because there's nothing involved there for him to get promoted for. So it's literally just Silver Valley, where the assassination attempt and the whole Herder thing, which then comes up during the movie, which I have a note about later. But I just disagree, because if you're thinking like, yo, Yang did a super great thing, it's like, yeah, and he got promoted like 6 times, and then they couldn't promote him again, so they had to wait 6 hours and promote him again another time. And versus Reinhardt, who just keeps doing shit.
Riot from getting worse in the prison, I guess that's important. And exposed, the graft the guy was doing.
Yeah, and then lied about it.
Well, yeah, he lied about. Well, he lied about how
he assaulted a superior officer, and then lied about it to the investigating command.
Yeah.
And then he didn't get promoted for that anyway. So, I mean, again, my point herein is that, well, I don't exactly remember what we said that the comment is referring to. But again, I think it implies that Reinhardt did one thing and then got promoted to about the rank that Yang did one thing and got promoted to about the rank where Reinhardt is working his way up to.
Yeah.
I would argue that Reinhardt is doing it the normal way. I think I got more notes about that, actually, too. So,
yeah.
And lastly, another one from Henry, from the Patreon, from Golden Wings. Weirdly, this movie credits the same character designer as all the other anime, but the look is clearly based on the manga of the same name. The woman who drew it didn't just do this side story, but also the general manga adaptation of Legend of the Galactic Heroes in 1986, so before the anime was made, meaning these designs easily could have been chosen for the main OVA series. I wonder if that wouldn't have affected the reputation and legacy of it, because the more neutral and realistic designs we all know do fit the story better. Not to mention the totally different voice cast. No idea why they did that. The only part that made this almost worth it for me was the finale and the cool ways they killed the villains. Still pretty much pointless.
Yeah, not much happens. And the villain acting like a moron was like, Literally, you shoot this guy dies, drops the other guy, you're done. You can walk away. You don't care about these idiots. Your job is to kill them. Like he literally had the gun pointed at him. He was like, yeah, but I'm gonna kick you because I'm moron. I enjoy kicking dogs, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
an
that's what he
element of
said.
plot armor, though. Is that
Yeah,
your desire to do things to them that doesn't immediately involve killing them, even though all you want to do is kill them.
yeah.
I guess it's like if you're like having a fight against fate, right? And you're like, yeah, I can kill you. I want to kill you. But you know what? I'm going to prove to you that I am a man of my own free will by not
Mhm.
killing you. And that will show you exactly how able I am to kill you.
By not doing the thing that I want to do and need to do, I guess.
Right.
But
But you're saying fate says I'm going to kill you. So I'm going to tell you I'm my own man. And I will kill you. But right now I'm not going to kill you to show you how powerful I really am. This is also another thing that villains always do. I'm so strong that I'm not threatened by the situation. I've got you. Why not enjoy this a little bit? Because, I mean, that bad guy in Golden Wings really reminds me of that Baldur's Gate character, the one who wants to whip himself all the time. All right, anyway, got the board where we've added a number of people. Obviously, I think the thing to do is scroll down. Oh, yeah, I've forgotten to mark somebody as dead. Let me do that real quick. While you still load up, I guess.
Yeah. I made the mistake of loading the wrong board.
Well, I had forgotten to mark assassin as dead, so assassin is dead. So I think the thing to do is to scroll up from the bottom. So assassin dead. Schmidt's somebody we already know. Polestar, guy from the movie. Same rank as Alanis Sider. Different uniforms, though, because the movie has the same problem as the first Star Trek movie of not knowing what people should look like or dress like. Let's see, scrolling up. These are all people from Mutineer. That's Silver Valley. Oh, then we got Gregor von Krumbach, who is, of course, dead from Golden Wings. Then we got what? Let's see here. We got Helmut Lennenkampf, Kleist, and Wartenberg, also from the movie. Kleist, I think. Kleist was the commander of...
Yeah. The one that orders ultimately to fire the...
No, I've just forgotten
the
the name of the
Thorhammer.
station. What's the fucking name of the place?
Eisenholt? It's difficult for me to pronounce, but it's Eisen something.
I swear to God, I just said it earlier in like a Gundam recording, and I didn't. So can't. Isengard is all that's coming to my head, and that's wrong too.
Yeah, no, it's wrong.
Eisenholt? Eisen. God damn it! Hold on.
Eisen something. It's the not Death Star.
Yeah. Iserlorn. Sorry, I knew if I just looked up ICE in my notes, I'd find it. Iserlorn. He is the commander of Iserlorn, I believe. And I believe Wartenberg is the commander of the fleet defenses of Iserlorn. Because they're both different command. I have a thing about them later, but let's see, scrolling up. Anybody new yet? No. Sorry, just the problem with the board being so tall. Oh, obviously, nobility, Imperial Knight status, Sebastian von Mussel and Clarabelle von Mussel. One of these two is dead.
Yeah, because she got run over by reindeer. No, I mean a car.
Well, technically, she didn't get run over by a car. She got sideswiped by a car that then exploded. Otherwise, just further connections between Wilhelm von Littenheim and Herx. I don't know how you say his name, actually. Herx.
Exerheimer? Herxheimer?
Sorry, I was also holding back a sneeze. Herxheimer?
Exheimer, yeah.
I don't know how you pronounce the X in the middle. It's Herxheimer. Same way I pronounce like shows like Hunter x Hunter. Spy X Family. Herxheimer. Oh yeah, and Dorothea's husband, who doesn't have a first name. So she's Dorothea von Schaffhausen, and he's just Schaffhausen. I Oh, yeah, sorry. There's somebody else over here on the Free Planets Alliance side that I've also moved. And that would be further down. Dusty Attenborough. He goes from being a cadet to a lieutenant.
Yep.
Because he was used to be down on the board in the unknown side with cadet right next to him. And it's basically the board changes from the last 3 episodes of the movie. Well, he says I'm going to have to redo the board a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to redo the board, but I need to adjust some of these lines because I'm unable to put people on the board in specific places because I've drawn a line that goes right through them. Well, I have notes, and I know that you haven't written anything down, so this is the time for you to weigh in on my notes. An element of covering character backstories and everything before we get into the show proper, something I particularly enjoy from Reinhardt's series of episodes, is that we are essentially seeing how he handles any given situation and what skills he has in them. Because of Duelist and a little bit of Silver White Valley, we know how Reinhardt is in an actual fight, and more so how he's developed into however he will be in the main series. If he gets into a fight, we are basically seeing every element of his mental processing at play in microcosms of what I'll assume will be what the greater story is about. Whereas we've only gotten the briefest of insights on Gang, what it really makes me think of is Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, where we spend most of our time with Char, and then Amuro at the end, and then the show proper is all about Amuro. Well, we got a little bit of time with Yang, and most of it with Reinhardt. Maybe the show will do a Gundam.
Yeah. Oh, and yelling at statues, too.
That was mostly the movie.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I remember. It's like his character development. He's yelling at a statue.
I think episode 3 of Duelist has the best moment in the particular arc, where Kirches logics out the dodge and which shot to focus on, the second or the first, as a psychological game. It's game theory at its best. I liken it to an episode of No Game, No Life, except that show would have had a fun graphic to go with their explanation of a winning strategy. Instead, here we got shots of Kirches loading the pistols to let us know how much time they have left in this conversation, as well as to not just keep flashing back and forth between two faces as they talk.
I mean, it's overall well done, except for how it ended. It's like, oh, you're not really going to have this fight. It's not going to end here because literally the cavalry arrives, or the Imperial Guard in this case, Imperial Horse Guard.
Yeah. You know, for having no connection to any party in the entire arc, Lutz's random advice that should conceivably serve no purpose in a normal duel just so happened to have saved Reinhardt's life. He suggested Reinhardt shield himself with his left arm, which he did, and it prevented him from getting shot in the chest, to which he attributed to Lutz's advice. Since getting shot in the left side is worth less points than the right, it's a gamer move if you think you'll get shot at all, to make the hit a lesser point scoring region. Except, in a normal duel, no one would be aiming at the chest in order to kill, meaning that guarding your chest with your left arm would be an entirely pointless affair. As if you did get shot in the chest, it would be entirely at random, as a stray, and not an aimed shot at the heart.
You know, this might be a wild ass mass guessing because most of this has shown that basically it's Reinhardt and what's his name and Kirches being alone against the world, except for when the sister gets involved, right? Which he doesn't want to rely on because he wants to be his own man, and that's yada yada. And people are constantly accusing him of relying on his sister because he's, the concubine of the emperor. But maybe this might be a scene of that there's a third party involved here who wants him to succeed, right?
I mean, it would explain Lutz's weird random advice, but that would also imply that Lutz knows about the assassin and isn't doing anything about that either.
Oh, I think he wants. It's less about the assassin and more of what I mean, of course, the whole point thing. He might suspect that it would, like we said, it wouldn't if he dies during this, this duel. It doesn't matter, right? He's dead, and the duel's won, even if it's not the most points, right? Because he's a minor noble, right? So it doesn't matter if there is an assassin, right? Anybody you hire to duel might be convinced to do this.
Well, the difference there is that the duelists are professionals, and if they fail, they ruin their entire lives. So the idea is that a duelist wouldn't just fuck up, and it's known that this guy hired the best duelist, who is especially showing on the field that, he's aiming for like right arms, right hands.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the idea that somebody would just show up and fuck up and shoot Reinhardt in the chest should be so far out of the realm of possibility unless there was an assassin. So, Lutz's advice to shield himself with his left hand shouldn't come into play at all, because the only way that Reinhardt would be getting shot in the in the chest is to a stray bullet, which you can't guard your heart if it's a stray going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Because it could hit you in the fucking head for all you know. So either Lutz knows an assassin's coming for him, in which case, good job, I guess, doing nothing else but saying get shot in the arm. Or Lutz is giving random, worthless advice. So, clearly, Anna Rose isn't without her own power, as she has the Kaiser's ear enough that she got him to stop the duel. That she did also shows that she can't just ask for anything, as otherwise she might have just interceded with her friend's troubles to begin with before it became a duel-worthy event. So, clearly she is capable of playing the politics of the Imperial Court. Of course, one of the first things we were told about Reinhardt from Reinhardt himself was that he didn't want to be associated with his sister's ties to the Kaiser. So clearly he was pissed off when the Kaiser interfered in his business.
And we don't know how well. I suspect he knows enough about her brother to know that he's not going to appreciate that. So only act in extreme way. Also, she certainly has pull, but there's also the question of political capital that she has suspended very carefully, right?
Yeah. I mean, it goes along with what I was saying, the element that she can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
You can only ask for so many favors before people start asking you to pay up on your favors. Yeah, I can send people to stop this. I think I was saying that as though she was pulling favors with the court, when in fact she pulled favors with the Kaiser himself.
Yeah.
Unless she pulled some favor with somebody who acted as though they were speaking for the Kaiser.
Hmm?
Something of an interesting note, while we've seen plenty of scenes of Gang reading books and doing research, when he was on vacation at home, he watched a lot of TV. It was how he kept getting news reports of stuff he had just done. I don't think we've seen a single accommodation that Reinhardt has stayed in that even had a TV.
Yeah. And I think it goes to the way the society is been built, because it's kind of weird when the movie emphasizes the more high-tech aspects of it, although we have seen cars, of course, in the Empire. But they're going for that sort of 18th century, 17th century, 18th century feel, right? For a lot of things. Like, the guards don't show up in a helicopter or a flying machine. They show up on horseback. So how close were these training grounds to the?
Well, remember the training grounds were on the Viscount's land. So he says, who let those men on my land?
Yeah.
So it's not some public place. They had to get here from outside. So assumingly, there's not an Imperial Guard post on his territory.
Yeah.
But also, remember, they arrived on horseback, but when they go to leave, the Countess says, "Oh, I have a limo waiting, by the way."
Yeah.
So cars are available.
And so it's a weird mix of things. Like, they do have computers because we see them having computers, right?
Well, the
So it's
guards
not
could
like
just be ceremonial, right?
yeah, but again,
The
even
idea
if
is
they're
that you don't fuck with the
ceremonial,
Kaiser's guards because fucking with the Kaiser's
yeah,
guards is treason.
yeah. But the thing is, again, the choice of them. I mean, it's dramatic, but the choice of them arriving by horseback, right? And it's like if they're deployed, if they are the Kaiser's elite personal guard, they would be deployed from
Well, we don't know if they're the elite personal guard. We just know that they're Imperial Guard. It's like if the Queen sent a beefeater to send a message, right? It's like,
yeah,
certainly they do represent the Queen, but the Queen actually has modern guards as well.
yeah, yeah.
So there's no telling. It's just these guys could have just been maybe that's the trade-off, right? Sure, I'll save your brother from the duel. I'm sending those fuck-offs that are the ceremonial guards, though.
Yeah.
So if these guys like decide to try and put my guards in the dirt and say, no, fuck you, we're doing the duel anyway, whatever. It is that is the society, though.
Yeah.
Like, even the nobles we've seen, like Benamunde, we've
Yeah.
never seen a TV in her house.
Mm.
She's former, like, Kaiser concubine, so she's up there.
Yeah.
Also, her, like, physician, Dr. Glasser, travels in an actual wagon.
Yeah, in a horse and carriage, right?
With his talking to his assistant, who, by the way, is on a laptop computer.
Yeah.
It's fun. I gotta say, at least it's fun. Like, what combination of technology and backwards thinking are we gonna see today?
Yeah.
Very first episode. Oh, so I don't actually remember. Spoiler, I guess. It's not spoiler because it's literally the very first minute of Legend of Galactic Heroes Die New Thesis, the remake one. The very first minute is literally like two old people in like a horse and buggy going down the road in the middle of the woods, and you think, oh, this is like 1400s, and then spaceship goes over top of them because they're like near the capital or something. It's like, okay, this is juxtaposition. I appreciate the assassin lied about not being an assassin and just being a duelist right till his death. That's commitment.
I'm keeping that secret.
Yeah. Well, Reinhardt's like, tell me, it was Benamunde, right? She hired you to do this? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a duelist. I fucked up the duel and my life is over. I never get any more duels. Like, oh, that's dedication. All right, here's where the notes get into the movie. I can at least understand Reinhardt's dad, even if he's made out to be somewhat of a villain by the show and the movie.
Mm-hmm.
At least the movie shows that he wasn't always the broken drunk. He used to be a happy family man until his wife died. Then he broke down and started drinking. The movie then adds some context to the sale of Anna Rose, as when Reinhardt accuses him, we can see that he starts to cry, which I have to think is sadness more than just regret, as his immediate words are, "We must obey the decrees of the royal family." Despite what outburst Reinhardt has at the moment, 2 episodes before we watched the movie, we were hit with a scene where an Imperial Guard told a high-ranking noble that the Kaiser's word supersedes law, and to go against it is treason. So if the Kaiser wanted Anna Rose, he was getting her, no matter what the dad may have done. Thus his line of, we might as well get some money out of it. I don't think he fully accepted the situation either, beyond there being nothing that he could do.
But there is a question, because they're basically the lowest tier of nobility. Essentially, they just have the rank and nothing else.
Right, which is why I referenced again that a higher ranked noble, literally somebody who thought he had the next Kaiser as his daughter, could not act against the Kaiser's word.
Yeah. How did that actually happen? In other words, how did the Kaiser notice or knew about, and from his position, this girl, right? To then go like, yeah, that's the one I want, right?
I think in fairness, a world filled with thought police and police of every sort probably just got eyes everywhere.
True,
for all we
but
know. If you think what you think about the Kaiser is real and that he is just perving on everybody.
Yeah, he has a He has a thought police and a a perf police, right?
A thought police.
Yeah.
He has a thought police
Yeah.
and a thought police. THOTT. In case you weren't getting the joke.
Yeah. So he has both,
That's
I
all right.
guess.
That gets funnier the more I think about it. A thought police and thought police. Maybe, in fact, there
Yeah.
were no thought police. There were only thought police.
Yeah.
Maybe, what's his name, wasn't disgusted at his dad for working for the thought police. He was disgusted about the amounts of porn in his house with the thought police.
Yeah. So basically, the Emperor is just going on Insta, going like, damn, okay. Okay. Give me this one. I want this one.
Well, the Imperial Court's giving this one a lot of thumbs up.
Yeah. Look at all those hearts popping. Yeah. We got to go with this one.
Sorry, there was a thought that I had back in Die New These, and it doesn't spoil anything, so I can share the thought again here, which is, how do you run for office when you've got a campaign across multiple planets? Right? The idea of where you can show up personally and pretend that I care more about the situation you have here versus doing like broadcast events. How do you do a campaign trail where it's not just, oh yeah, I got to show up in this many states on this continent. No, I got to show up on this many continents on this many planets. The amount of viewing of people on like an internet situation, if you're like browsing,
a situation where the president might be more like a prime minister, where he's selected by his party.
Well, I'm not actually going into that as a discussion point. I just mean to say that is the reality of a situation you would face of just having so many planets and stuff to deal with. Same thing that if you're browsing an internet comprised of like thousands of planets. You know how like if you go into Twitch on a busy channel and the browser's going, chat's going crazy, no chance in hell any single person can read anything, even in slow mode. Some of these channels are just going by crazy. You imagine just the input of billions of billions and billions of people across a galactic empire-wide internet. Your Instagrams like, yeah, I used to be like attracted to these hot girls on the internet, but in fact, there's just so many of them. I think I don't care anymore. Thought police. You're too hot. Go to jail.
Horny jail.
Yeah, for reals. Whole planet of thought police jail.
Damn.
All right. Sithole says that the Free Planet Alliance has assaulted Iserlon 4 times and failed. We know they failed again by the end of the movie, so now 5 times. This time with the largest fleet ever assembled by the Free Planets Alliance.
Which we know then the battle of, what was the battle of?
Hold on. Let's search the word largest and go up into the timeline and see. Nothing. Let's look at the word fleet.
Okay, so that was a battle that this guy died.
There we go.
Where millions of ships or something like that.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry, apparently I used the word fleet a lot in my timeline. I thought I'd immediately go to it, but apparently I also written down when people get promoted to Fleet Admiral, which is unhelpful. Battle of El Facile Stars. Oh, no, that's the one with Yang. Because that was also only 1,000 ships. Project Jasper getting promoted. Bang getting promoted. Wallace Warwick getting promoted. March Jasper led rescue fleet. Nope. Is that the Planitia? That's not the one you're asking for. Second battle of Tiamat.
Yeah, second battle of Tiamat, yeah.
I think it would have been faster if I just scrolled up. I guess I should have looked for the word battle. The Google Foo effect. Right, because that's where they chose to build a fleet instead of a space station or fortress. You were asking that for a reason, so can't just abandon your thought process now.
No. The thing is, I'm gonna say this. They say it's the biggest battle, but then in Battle of Tiamat, the biggest fleet. But the fleets in the Battle of Tiamat were far bigger than that.
No.
We're not?
The second Battle of Tiamat was the largest fleet ever assembled up until that point.
So it was bigger.
That's the benefit of something being said in the past. That was 745. Sorry, I forget what UC stands for. Space year. So here's the problem: is I wrote these down 745 UC, but I've written down as space year. RC 436 is imperial year, but I know RC stands for Reich's calendar. I don't remember what universal calendar. Maybe?
But the battle of Tiamat, the second battle of Tiamat is before the
right. That's what I'm saying. That's the benefit of saying things temporally. In 745, they say it is the largest fleet the Alliance ever assembled. In 745, versus this, which happens 792?
Happens later.
792, yeah. Yeah, the narrator is still in time with the rest of us. You're saying that the fleet is bigger back then, and I'm saying the guy who says that lived back then. He's not going to be able to say that a fleet that comes in the future isn't going to be bigger.
But now I'm talking
about... If I say in World War I that admiral said, this is the largest fleet in the United States history, cool. And then in World War II, another admiral says, this is the largest fleet in United States history.
Okay, it's not talking about that. I'm talking about like if the largest fleet in history in World War I was 1,000 ships, and then the guy who says the largest fleet in history in World War II is 500 ships, then he's wrong because there's a time when there was a larger fleet.
Cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the problem is that I have the guy who's saying it now, and I know how many ships, and I don't have a listing for how many ships there was at the Second Battle of Tiamat.
I think that they said about...
I'm saying I don't have it written down, but at the same time, I know you're not taking the note to know that. So now I'm wondering, is all those flashing lights I'm seeing on your glasses you going to the Rhinopedia? In which case, you better not be, you cheating son of a bitch. I'm calling a bluff is what I'm doing.
No, I think the Battle of Tiamat was bigger.
Also, I do think you could say something like that. Because if you said, like, oh yeah, no, the sinking of the Spanish Armada featured more ships than the United States currently fields in its current blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, but those were fucking wooden ships like 1,000 years ago.
If we're simply talking about numbers, they're more of one than the other. If we're talking about sophistication of ships, where, say,
as it turns out, back then, ships were about the size of fighter craft, and they had millions of them, versus today, where, it does fucking matter. Context matters. But I'm also saying that I don't have a written down number of how many ships were at the Second Battle of Tiamat.
We gotta find out, but not right now.
Well, I don't think we have to, because I think this is like a pedantic argument. And not between us. I think we're arguing the characters being pedantic.
Or just being plain wrong.
Well, it could be, but I don't actually care, because the Second Battle of Tiamat is so far back, it doesn't actually feature any living character. Like... Every character from the Second Battle of Tiamat is now dead.
It's important because that fleet was built instead of building a fortress by the Alliance in the area in which now Isolorn is. Isolorn was built because the Empire beat the Alliance to the punch there. So now,
it's not that they beat them to a punch; it's that they, not William Ashby, Bruce Ashby. Bruce Ashby convinced them to use those resources in a different way, which is why Isolorn was able to be built. Pointedly, though, even if they had more ships at the Second Battle of Tiamat, those ships existed for the Alliance to then assault Isolorn with, and we know by the fact that Sithole says that they've assaulted Isolorn 4 times now and failed, that even having larger numbers did not assist them in defeating Isolorn.
But the point is that those two are related in the sense that had those resources been spent on building a fortress by the Alliance, the situation would have been reversed.
Well,
the Alliance would have been...
We don't actually know who would have built a fortress first. We know how they allocated their resources. We don't know the timing of the situation.
Well, the way it's set up, the way it's explained to us is like, either the Alliance built a fortress or the Empire built a fortress. They didn't invest on a fortress, therefore the Empire was able to do just that.
No, my point is that we don't know who did what, where, when. We know that the Empire put its resources into building a fortress. We know that the Alliance put its resources in building a fleet. We don't know who held Isolorn when the Alliance built its fleet. We don't know who built the Isolorn when the Empire built the... Well, obviously, the Empire owned Isolorn when it built the fortress. They could have owned Isolorn when the Alliance was building its fleet. If the Alliance decided to build a fortress, it might not have been at Isolorn. There could have been 2 fortresses sitting next to each other in that same pathway we see in the star map. That would just have been 2 like dead ends right next to each other, which probably would have been for the better if the Alliance Isolorn equivalent, whatever it would have been as effective as Isolorn, because that would just mean that the Empire fleet never goes anywhere, and the Alliance fleet never goes anywhere. Literally would have been an end to the war right there.
Yeah.
Well, not an end to the war. It just would have been everyone's safe on this side, everyone's safe on that side.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got 3 comments left here. Notes. 3 notes left here. In the 2 years since we last saw Dusty Attenborough in Spiral Labyrinth, he's apparently made his way up to lieutenant rank. The new characters on the Imperial side are harder to rank without being said out loud. The Imperial uniform has a complicated methodology that lets you figure out a person's rank on a glance via a combo of their collar, their chest crest, and their epaulets. The art style of the movie is inconsistent to the show, so the show rules don't apply here to be able to figure it out. In this case, Linnenkampf, Kleist, and Wartenberg all have the same collar and epaulets, so I'm putting all 3 of them at the same rank. Even though, personal opinion, it feels like Captain would be too low a rank for Kleist, who runs Isolorn, it seems, and Wartenberg, who runs the Isolorn defense fleet, again, it seems. I have no idea who Linnenkampf is in the command scheme, but his is the only rank we get told, from which to base the meaning of the collar and the epaulets.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I still, even in the regular show, I still have a problem reading the Imperial rank, so...
Oh, I use an image for it. Because, again, it's the combination of, like, you can have, like, 2 swirls coming off of your crest, and then your epaulets will have, like, 3 swirls, and the difference between the 2 is, like, what rank you are, whereas higher ranks tend to have both the same thing, and then the dot pattern on... Oh, sorry, I think I'm talking about the collar and the chest. The difference between those 2, and then how many dots are on your... It's a weird combination sequence, but I remember back when I was reading it and then looking at it, it's like, oh yeah, this is easy to figure out once you know, but you got to keep it in your brain to be able to figure out. But once you know it, it's very easy to figure out on visual. That's how I got the ranks of certain characters whose ranks don't get said, but just you can look at them, because in the show, it's all very consistent. The movie, as I mentioned when we were looking at Holdfast, or what his name was, where he's got like this weird brown uniform with nothing on it, and is the same rank as a guy from Mutineer who has a uniform where you can tell his rank.
I mean, I think he comes from a different branch. I think he's like internal security or Imperial.
No, because he's on the ship. He's a guy on the ship with that they're I forgot the name it's on. Elmorant 2. He's just a guy on the ship who's basically serving the same role in a rank, the same as the guy who's right across from him on the board from Mutineer, who's another guy on the ship with the same rank. Different ship, same rank though. As I said, they're inconsistent. That's why I said when we're doing the board, it's like Golden Wings is the first Star Trek movie where they gave everyone weird new uniforms for no reason.
Yeah, those great pajamas, PJs.
Let's see. The oddest thing about Crumbach's fake investigation is how close to being right he is about a number of things he should have no idea about. Like the Capace Lanka B3 flashback. He guesses that Herder tells Reinhardt about Benamunde conspiring, what the fuck am I saying? Conspiring to have him killed. while next to a burning tank, which is how Fugenberg died, not Herder. But also, in his painting of things, Kerchase is rushing to stop him from shooting Herder, when in the actual scene, Kerchase pulled the trigger on the tank that nearly killed Fugenbach in the first place.
Mhm.
Like I said, so close to being right, but also having to wonder how he knows any of it at all. Because effectively, he's describing how Fugenberg died, but with Herder in position, but they hid everything about Fugenberg dying and blamed it on the Alliance. There's literally... How does he even know that Fugenberg told them about Benemonde?
I mean, if he's working with the Countess, Viscountess, the Baroness, I think. What's her rank?
I don't have the board up right now, ironically.
If they weren't working with her, he would at least know that one of them was in it on the assassination plot.
I mean, that could explain why he's saying Herder said all these things, because Herder is the one she said the note to kill Reinhardt.
Exactly. He doesn't know that he told his second in command to set up the first assassination attempt, right?
Well, that's that's the confusing part, because he's describing how Fugenbach died, which is the part he should know nothing about, because Herder doesn't know the events of how Fugenbach died. Because he's describing a scene where he's sitting in front of a destroyed tank. Mm-hmm. Essentially where Fugenbach insulted Anna Rose and then got his ass blown out of a tank before, Reinhardt said, I would have accepted everything else, but you called my sister a whore. Gotta die.
Yeah.
Because that's what it stood out to me, how weird it was that in the background of what he's describing must have happened on that planet, Siegfried is running in the background like, no, don't do it. And it's like, that's clearly means that this is what Krumbach thinks happened. Because Siegfried was never, no, don't do it to anything in all of that. No. So it seems very odd to me. How, in those stories, like, how do you know the parts you weren't there for?
Yeah. Little bird told me.
Also, nobody would have told Benemonde those events either, so she couldn't have told him.
No.
Krumbach says he has very personal reasons for wanting to take out Reinhardt, but I don't know what they are. Beyond being incensed at the treatment he's had or angry that Reinhardt is so young and has done so well.
And the treatment is, he invites him to go into the ship. It's like, hey, you're investigating me? I need to go, so you can drive with him. He was the one who showed himself a coward, right? So it's like, he's like, oh, panic. It's like, dude, that's on you. But I guess he's the kind of character who doesn't want to admit that he makes mistakes, right? That, other people made him look bad, not him. He's always been, he's always right because he's the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. Also, I've added to the calendar that the current year is probably 3593 AD.
The 36th century?
Let's see, 19th century said to be 1,700 years ago. And they're in the Empire, which means they're on the Reich's calendar, which was 483. I don't know where I got the number from. 3593 is what I put down with a question mark beside it. So if we get any further clarification, the idea that we're 1,300 years in the future. Ish.
Yeah, give or take.
All right. Any other thoughts on your end? Maybe specifically the movie?
I already said about the whole, why don't you shoot him situation. The movie kind of doesn't really amount to much of anything outside of, the part where we get greater insight of how we got to this point was enjoyable. Then the whole battle of the not Death Star thing was like, eh?
All right. Well, yeah. I guess technically they took the best part of the Death Star, which was the super beam thing, and then put it on a thing that... Because I guess the other good element of the Death Star is that it moves. And this place doesn't seem to move, so...
Yeah, that gun is... it has a wider arc of effect, but they literally have to lure the enemy fleet into the cannon's range. which makes it very inefficient, right? Because it's space and it's a sphere. So, and you have little fighters, so you can come from any direction, right? In fact, if you put a fleet to lure them in, I just like ignore that fleet and just go directly for send a smaller force to pin that fleet down, right? So they don't move, and send the rest of your force to attack from the direction. And they do what they did in this, the Alliance did is like, oh, we're gonna hug them. You use the gun, you kill your own forces, kill the force that was sent to pin your forces, and everyone else is, oh, you destroy those forces. Oh, that sucks. We're still attacking. Let's go. Unless you can rotate the whole thing, right? If it can move and rotate,
it did look like there was more than one like sphere thing for it to shoot from. They only reference like the Thor cannon as though there's only one. But when whatever it's called, they pull back though, and it looks like it's got one up here, it's got one down here. So maybe it does have more than one firing arc.
But why not fire more than one if you have this fleet surrounding you, right? Just the one, right?
I mean, maybe because the fleets are like, because they said that their plan was that they were going to merge themselves in with the Imperial fleet so that they wouldn't shoot themselves. So maybe the Imperial fleet trying to lure them into one firing arc.
Yeah,
they all are just right there. I will say though that they did add like two other things at the very end, which is to say, they said Reinhardt, I think it said 4 years. I put it on the calendar, but I don't have it up right now.
Would be an real admiral, something like that.
In admiral, they didn't say any specific others. And Yang does say when they're thinking about how they could take it, when him and Dusty are having a conversation,
they're going to have to do it from the inside.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out every little thing they lean to there. All right, well, I guess that is everything about the catch-up, which also means when we watch the 3 episodes coming this Saturday, we only got this one episode to talk about before we jump into it. So let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
The Returner. You know, I told you. Go ahead.
We're still in Kirchheis and Reinhard, right?
I mean, there's no telling. There's been no signifier for when we're on one or the other. We had like 16 episodes of Gang, and then I guess we're over that number with Reinhardt now, but
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
This is season 2, right? This is season 2.
Well,
they're crossing ships and all that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. It must be, because I think this is what episodes like 23 through 26 or something like that, or 22 through 26. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I think the season 1, 23 or 22 through 26 is I don't remember. I think that's 2 different arcs.
Baby Yang in his white uniform.
Well, I mean,
also Yang
like dress uniform.
Yeah, but when he was in the academy, Yang kind of looks a little older than Reinhardt.
He is,
not by much. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is. We know that he is. Reinhardt's only 16.
Yeah.
That's why everyone gets pissed off at him.
20 something or other, right?
No, we're doing the thing we were just talking about Gundam. We're getting mixed up with Amuro and Char's age difference.
Oh, yeah.
I know specifically Reinhardt is 16 because they said it last movie.
I find the wing? The retriever. Okay. I think that could be.
Oh, thank God, we're back to dates. And apparently the Cybermen, I don't know what the fuck's... I'm sorry, what's it called? The Hell? From the video game.
Helgast?
Helgast. I couldn't think of the name.
It seems to be the same. Oh, it seems to be kind of practice. Or not, as the case may be.
It has to be practice. Why would both sides have the same uniform then? Or not. I could be completely wrong. Love how your battle uniform has fuck me heels. It looks very familiar for some reason. Is that Lutz?
Could be.
I just don't understand why the bad guys would have the same outfits if this wasn't... See, red bands and non-red bands.
Yeah.
It has to be training.
Yeah, they're not wearing, their weapons are supposed to be. Oh, he just bluffs his way out of. Yeah.
This is how Star Wars Kid got a job. I mean, the more obvious thing is that you wouldn't need a computer telling you what the injuries were if this wasn't training.
Yeah, those hits still feel hard. Like, yeah, maybe they're not lethal, but
could be the Starship Troopers thing where the thing electrocutes you into. So, selfie particles. So, simulating how to fight off a boarding action, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, as well, remember, Reinhardt can go Super Saiyan.
Yeah. But I'm the badass, so
yeah,
no.
I mean, it is a badass move to come walking down off of a throne. So you wish to fight me, do you?
Not if you come one by one, you don't.
Yeah, I do kind of think that maybe they are inflicting the injuries on these people. Or at least maybe a minor version of them. If only we hadn't trained at that ninja academy that told us to fight one by one.
Yeah. Also serves to prove how much of a badass is in his own ship. Like, people are like, fuck, our captain just beat the crap out of us. In an exercise, but still.
Especially if you have all the lower enlisted people. But
Yeah,
all they
be the
want
ones
to do
who-
is beat the shit out of the noble captain.
Yeah.
I would say you still probably lost, though.
Yeah.
Like they said, if they make it to the bridge, normally they'd already lose. But there's also
Yeah.
only 2 officers left. Probably means that you're probably not controlling the ship anymore with 2 gen.
乾杯でした。いやあ、K はここへ来るまでに疲労していたし、何より意識が艦長の方に向いていたからな。かろうじて隙をつけたのさ。まともに張り合っていたらかなわんだろう。いえ、おかげでいい汗をかいた。
強いね、キルヒアイス注意。さすが保安主任は伊達じゃないな。ただの坊やじゃないってか。
I mean, he survived multiple assassination attempts, so I think he picked up a couple of things along the way.
Yeah, see, it happens right after the movie.
Yeah. Oh, now he's in a cruiser, yeah.
だが、ラインハルトにとって不満なことに、周囲にとどまったキルヒアイスを
There's an element here that the way that I'm familiar with Iserlorn looking and the way it was looked in the movie are two different things, and a lot of your arguments I feel like are going to be assuaged by the way that I'm familiar with Iserlorn looking.
保安主任は艦長の護衛を兼ねるということで常に傍らにある。それで良しとしたのである。着任以来数ヶ月、同盟軍の構成もなく、ラインハルトが望むような武勲を立てる機会もないまま時は過ぎていた。
ミューゼル中佐、巡航艦の艦長に
He doesn't go by Musil anymore? He goes by lohengramm or whatever the fuck it was?
Yeah.
その間、出撃の機会もなく腕を舞しておるようだな。猛訓練で部下たちをしごいていると聞いておるが。
恐縮です。
いや、結構なことだ。今日私が呼んだのは他でもない。そんな刑を見込んで引き受けてもらいたい任務があってな。
Everything he gives a mission, it can be suspicious.
その内容について知りたいのなら、まずこの宣誓書にサインしてもらわねばならない。
Do you like me, yes or no?
内容を知った後に拒否する権利もある。だが、その場合でも内容を他に漏らさないための宣誓書だ。
Shit Herder probably should have done.
了解しました。
Again, the movie told us you don't go by that name anymore after you got that noble appointment.
サインしました。どうぞ。
Bring the gunman.
Yeah. Come shooting. Yeah.
こちら、統帥本部作戦参加のアーベントロート少将だ。説明は少将がしてくださる。
Deep strike against the Alliance, perhaps?
噂はいろいろと聞いておるよ。
恐縮です。
実はな、ヘルクスハイマー伯爵を知
Yeah, I fought a duel against him.
それはあのヘルクスハイマー伯爵が失脚し、
Sorry, sometimes the occasion where the spelling doesn't hold. This is the different ways.
それを土産に同盟への亡命を図っているという。これを何とか阻止したいが、フェザン回廊に軍艦を派遣するわけにはいかない。そこで巡航艦ヘーシュリヒエンチェンは単独でイゼルローン回廊から同盟領に侵入し、フェザン回廊同盟側出口までチョークしてこれを捉えるか撃沈せよ。
Get
Okay,
there
this looks
before.
like there seems to be like a gap between galactic arms, and that's why those are the only two routes to get there, right? There seems to be a space there where there's not a lot of stars. So in order for them to jump from point to point, I guess they go from one star to the next.
I mean, unless that's the Galactic Center, and they're going around the.
Yeah, but it looks like a like a lane. It doesn't look like
We've
something.
seen it depicted with the same star map. We've seen depicted against different backgrounds, so I don't know if those mean anything either.
昨年第5代の自治領主に就任したばかりのアドリアン
I think this is also the or Adrian Rubinsky sounds like a fighter from Punch Out.
こちらが強攻策に出たりするとハントどもをフェザーン回廊に引き込んで
I was gonna say this is the first time outside of Benamonde that a character has appeared across different arcs. Well, in Glacier, I can count Glacier too.
ヘルクスハイマーの足止めだけはしておる。今はそれだけでも強力的な方。
So they may have another. Oh, so things are in the Empire are more complicated. They have to keep fighting the Alliance because they might have sections of their own space rebel against them. So it's not simply, oh, we're in a superior position, like I imagine, and it was a war for its own sake.
I think we talked about that before.
Yeah,
The
but we
idea
had
that
no
their
proof.
government is like Starship Troopers, and that you have to have an enemy to focus on, otherwise people are going to realize what's going on.
Yeah, but also the fact that if what they just said about that area could rebel, could invite the rebels to come in, that means that they could lose entire sectors of their own.
もっともだな。回収してもらいたいのは開発中の指向性ゼッフル粒子発生
Directional Selfie Particle Unit。
指向性ゼッフル粒子、その可能性は論文で読みましたが、開発に成功したとは存じませんでした。
当然だ。重要軍事機密だからな。ただしまだ試作途上だが、総監に就任されたばかりのシャフト技術対象閣下の発案で、科学技術部が総力を傾けて開発しておる。実用化も時間の問題だ。
Shaft! Shut your mouth!
この技術が反乱軍に流れると、せっかくの優位性が失われてしまう。それだけこの任務が重大だ。
Have they mentioned what selfie particles are yet?
No. I don't know what they are. You know because you saw a problem.
The thing is, I think when the show that I saw them in, they didn't describe them either, other than the implied thing that why aren't they doing certain things? So I think there's that element that if they don't tell you by the end of this, I'll just tell you because I don't think it's a spoiler. They just don't describe it.
It looks like she was older when she was taken. In the movie, it implies that she was still like a little girl, right?
Yeah, different art style.
Yeah. I mean, still doesn't make it right that people can get bought by the Emperor, but regardless of age.
よかろう。外で私の部下のベンドリング少佐が待っている。詳細な情報や
Bedling and Rodriguez.
手伝うことになっている。今回の作戦にも同行する。
つけ馬か。それでは失礼して直ちに準備に入ります。時間の猶予は。
I just don't know at what point in your career do you have to suspect which person around you is a member of Benamunde's court.
True. All of them, unless proven otherwise.
しかし大丈夫かね、あんな若造で。
これはいいなこと。ミューゼル中佐を指名してきたのはそちらでしょうに。
命令を受けただけでね。ああ、出どころは聞かんでくれ。
Like I said, you've got to suspect all the time.
Yeah.
ミューゼル艦長ですな。統帥本部のフォン・ベンドリング少佐であります。
And he said, I have a watchdog, so.
監察官として同行させていただきます。
監察官？
いえ、監察官というのは名目でして、そのアドバイザー。
You know, like the tag in your underwear.
お目付け役というわけか。ご苦労なことだな。私が刑に求めるのは、
I mean, like Crumbach was an inspector, wasn't he?
している情報を漏らさず正確に伝えること。それだけだ。それ以上のアドバイスも補佐も無用。ましてこちらで立てる作戦に対する口出しもまた無用だ。それが不承知なら同行は認めん。要塞で吉報を待っていてもらうが、どうする？
承知しました。
結構。ではついてきたまえ。
Okay, he doesn't seem to be in the know, I guess. Oh, he's a very good actor. Oh, surrounded by water. Interesting.
Oh, there you go. So now you know that's Isolorn. How different that looks to the movie version, right? Not at all like a Death Star.
No.
ラインハルトが乗組員たちに航海の本当の目的を明らかにしたのはイゼルロン回廊の同盟側出口に近づいてからであった。
命令とあれば否やはありませんが、あまりに無謀な作戦ではありませんか。
副長の疑問はもっともだ。巡航艦に過ぎて侵入を図るのは無謀だと K は言うが、その通り誰が考えてもそう思うだろう。だが だからこそ敵もそんな事態を予想してはいない。そこに付け入る隙がある。
Gotta hate it when your plan is it's just so stupid it might work.
Yeah. Oh, they're not gonna. Our enemy's not gonna expect that. Camera flips to the enemy. Oh, our fifth contingency is a single ship. Penetrate our defenses. How well prepared for that?
Well, I
mean, it's like how Yang got everyone evacuated off of El Facil. Like, they wouldn't expect us just to walk out.
But it was proven that his commander was an idiot and a coward, so yeah.
But no, more so than the Empire. Like, that couldn't be right. They wouldn't just walk out.
乗組員たちは納得したわけではないが、命令とあれば従うしかない。ナイハルトもあえて細かい説明をしなかった。彼らを従わせるには実績を示すしかないことを承知していたからである。
敵哨戒網に接近。全艦戦闘準備をしつつ。
Nobody concerned about this giant hole in space we seem to be flying towards?
Yeah.
まさか強行突破をなさるおつもりですか？
副長、命令を実行したまえ。
Sorry, just ask Siegfried. All I do is forced entry.
戦闘準備。このまま接近。
敵哨戒域に侵入。ビーコンの出力を上げろ。レーダーもワイドレンジにして最大出力。
艦長、それでは敵に発見してくれと言わんばかりではありませんか。
その通り、発見してもらおう。
It's just so stupid it might work.
Yeah.
敵艦接近。
監視は数は
巡航艦3、駆逐艦15前後。パトロール部隊と思われます。
艦長、
ちょうどよい。このまま接近し、有効射程に入る直前に主砲で制射。しかるの地に反転して4時方向へ離脱を図る。
艦長、
副長、
主砲発射用意。索敵員有効射程の10秒前から秒読み。航海長、
I must be missing something in the overall plan here.
And the typing, the guy's typing the type of his own fingers like this, like this keyboard is kind of crap. It doesn't even have numbers in it.
Oh, I'm glad Grandpa found some work.
Yeah.
発射後直ちに回答。フィア、ドライ、ファイヤル。着弾を確認。シールドで弾かれた模様。敵が追ってきます。
18 more times and we brew.
Yeah.
敵艦発砲。ビーム来ます。
Oh, they got shields.
うろたえるな。敵も射程外だ。このまま敵と一定の距離を保ちつつ、味方の警備艦隊のところまで引きずり込む。
I didn't come alone.
Well, their patrol fleet, which is on the other side. I feel like these are the kind of plans where you just said the entire plan out loud and be like, oh, well, that sounds dumb.
Yeah.
Also, thank God they couldn't speed up faster, right? Or decide to just turn around.
Yeah. Also, why pursue a single ship? Your job is to be a patrol. If they fly away, it's like, yeah, we did our job.
Yeah, literally alert more of your forces back at home base. Assumingly, they could have still alerted somebody back at home base, and there could be another fleet there waiting to guard the...
And they didn't even detach a couple of ships to intercept that ship. Like,
I mean, they might be like 1-for-1 with the other fleet, where now they're just in it.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, though, anybody on your patrol fleet that now dies is kind of like on your head. You like,
yeah.
Though I guess to be fair, they did say none of this would be on his record. I guess this is like a secret mission. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
But since this isn't on anyone's record, kill as many of your own men as you want, I guess.
Yeah, you're saying the secret orders.
無理やりにでも支援になるように動かしただけだ。それに最前線の警備部隊にとって遭遇戦は日常茶飯事。それを利用できる形に演出したまでの。
He's telling to the investigator.
この艦長、若いに似ずただものではない。
Yeah, he's kind of a
No,
dick.
Yeah, he just starts fights because what the fuck? Why not?
We could have done this quietly. Could have tried to sneak past, or I could get hundreds of our own men killed in a fight I'm not even gonna watch.
Yeah.
巡航艦ヘイシュリヒエンチェンは同盟領への侵入に成功した。
Dick move.
It's like, oh, stealth is optional, and Reinhard was, well, let me get my bazooka then. It's like, motherfuckers, you know.
Silent running. What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a move, I guess.
It's kind of dumb, actually.
Well,
supposed to show how much of a genius he is.
That was Lennon from the movie, but we never saw him in normal form. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know why the Alliance fleet did what it did. Like, I understand they got shot at, and they just couldn't let this one ship go because, for all they know, could just keep coming back and forth, shooting at them. You know, harassing moves.
Yeah, but you send like half of your force to block him or something. You don't send everybody in. This is my patrol plan. I'm going to just follow this guy 1 to 20, you know.
Well, it's like somebody who's like, if you're walking down the street and some guy comes up to you and just outside of your range and throws a rock at you, and then you go chase him for a bit and you get tired and stop, and then he like grabs another rock and throws it at you. It's going to get kind of fucking annoying at some point. This one ship could just keep harassing them forever.
Or you call for reinforcements or something, right?
Well, the idea is that they could follow it a ways, and they're like, oh, they're going towards their patrol fleet. Well, I guess we better stop. Go on, return back to our normal patrol route. Turns around, shoots you in the ass. It's like, I think because we've shown before that these ships kind of do that like weird maneuvering thing where they just follow one another, and we can't turn around very easily. So I guess that's the element of they had to keep going once they deigned to follow. I guess what that really proves is that they need faster ships.
単独で同盟領へ潜入した巡航艦ヘイシュリヒエンチェンはフェザン回廊付近まで進出した。しかし一足遅く、ヘルクスハイマーの船はすでに同盟領へ入った後だった。追撃し、これを捕捉することには成功したが、次回銀河英雄伝説外伝奪還者第2
So they do boarding actions with axes, I guess.
自らの手で切り開け。
Well, I told you if they didn't say what selfie particles were, I would tell you. Selfie particles are their thing to have melee combat instead of gun shootouts. It's a particle that's very, it blows up. I don't know what the word to describe it is. It blows up when in contact with their particle weapon gun things. So you fill a room with it, and then the people either are going to kill themselves shooting, or you go to melee weapons.
Okay, that makes more sense. It's like shields and lasers and Dune, right? If somebody has a shield, you don't shoot it because it becomes like a nuclear explosion, right? Yeah, you kill the guy, but you kill yourself, and like a entire block goes up.
Yeah,
because,
same intent.
Yeah.
You that's what you saw. They throw it in there. I guess they were simulating selfie particles in that little test thing they were doing. You fill a room with it. You throw it in there. Fill a room with it, and you can't get shot unless those people are willing to kill themselves.
Yeah, in that case, it makes sense.
So I don't know what directional selfie particles are that they're describing as they're testing. I guess like a claymore for gas. It only fires forwards, but that doesn't make any sense because an explosion would still follow back to its source.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what a
it'll take the explosion would take the path of least resistance. In an open room, it just It's just an oval, not an oval, but a circle, right? It's a globe because it just spreads evenly. Now, if you had an area where you could shunt the explosion, right, like an open passage that to space or something, because
here's my thing: is that I know what selfie particles are because of like one event that I saw in the other show, but even then, somebody in the comments had to tell me what it was, and obviously, I think you and me can think of like a lot of ways around selfie particles, so I don't actually know what the benefit here is. Like, obviously, if we're in spaceships, I've got like environmental controls, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, I don't know, those outfits kind of look like they're environmental too. For like, you know, vent the ship, something. Like,
I mean, the problem with that is like, oh, so this kind of energy sets up the particles, flood the enemy ship with particles. Okay, have this grenade, throw it in there, that activates the particle, and the entire ship goes up. Like, and I get the hell out.
Well, I guess the idea is either you're doing it as a defense move on your ship to make sure that they don't shoot. Well, I guess you don't do it because they could just shoot in. So that must be something that boarders do.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I mean, unless because you wouldn't want to do it from the inside, unless you throw it into the room they're boarding from where they're boarding. I don't know. It feels very situational.
I said one guy, right? Oh, they're going to activate these particles so that I can use any weapons. Oh, they activate. Oh, I detect the particles. Here's a delayed grenade or something that throws particle beams or something like a one-shot gun. Throw it in, Like,
I think I joked about that very same thing in the other show. Not about the grenade though, just like one a suicidal guy, or a guy wearing like a blast fruit outfit, like a bomb disposal outfit, just waddles his way in with a bunch of selfie particle grenades and a gun. Like, all right, where's the captain?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I said, if it's a thing that just is in the show, they must have reasoning for it. Like maybe the fact that they're so opulent and large with their bridges and everything like that there's like no possible way to vent this shit fast enough. But still, I'd be like, oh no, he threw in that grenade. I'm gonna shoot a hole in the wall. We're gonna be venting oxygen, but at the same time, we're not gonna fucking blow up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like something for the commenters to hit us up on why we just don't understand how this works.
We were watching Gundam earlier for recording this. This is for the commenters, and we were talking about them having also a particle field to protect from energy blast. But that was in space. Like, you set up in one area, they're shooting at us. They have to switch missiles or something like that, and that gives you a little bit of breathing room. I explained, like, okay, I can deploy my troops behind that, and then as it disperses or they push forward, it doesn't matter. It gives me a little bit of breathing room, like chaff or something like that, right? It's not a complete defense. But here is like, this is the thing that if we use it could kill us.
Well, remember back on Silver White Valley, they had missiles that exploded into shields.
Yeah.
Not like they hit a shield and exploded. I mean, they exploded and created a shield that other missiles then hit. Because the alternative is that they fire their own missiles into their own shields from behind for some reason.
Yeah.
So not really understanding the logic and some of the things happening here. I think we just need commenters that can tell us without spoiling anything how the fuck this is supposed to work. Because I get the element of, okay, if the boarders throw it on, that means that they're not going to be able to shoot. So they're putting themselves to axe work for some reason.
Yeah.
Or
swords or whatever.
But then if you're on board and you're like, oh shit, boarders, and you throw an explosive into your own room, an explosive gas into the room you're in. Like,
yeah.
Oh, wait, I didn't think this through, did I? Oh, they've got guns.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know what selfie particles are. Obviously, I don't understand their use that well now in hindsight.
Selfie particles.
Yeah. Because selfie particles go well with the thought police.
Yeah. And the insta-thought police.
Well, you see, you got the thought police, and then you see a thought out in the street, you throw selfie particles, and then you send the outcome of that to the Emperor.
And they fight with selfie sticks.
Yeah.
Which is what they were fighting in the first place with selfie
Because he
sticks.
can't use the flash because the flash sets off the selfie particles.
Yeah.
Ah, man, we've created the porn parody of Legend of Galactic Heroes so quickly this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No thoughts. No thoughts.
Just the one on Reddit.
No thoughts anymore. No, that's gonna be the joke moving forward. No thoughts anymore. Yeah.
All right. Well, you designed the graphic package for that one. Anyway, yeah, so that'll be it for this episode of Legend of Galactic Heroes. Once again, I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?